Hi there, Theresa here from wingsoflighthealingarts.com, here with the most recent energy update. So, we have the themes that we have that we're going through right now are definitely self-care, boundaries, speaking your truth, and even more so than self-care is feeling heard. We have a lot of those of you who know of, and most likely have heard about the elections here in the United States, and so they want me to touch base on that a little bit, but there's been a lot of fear in the collective recently. So the beings of light want you to know that there are a lot of guides here working with you that you have access to, and you don't have to go through this energetically alone. In fact, we are not. There is a whole host of support here with us. Something that they want me to talk about is the elections, and this is something that affects all of us. And it's not even just the United States or the countries around us, but what's happening here as a result here in the States is also affecting other places in the universe and other places in the solar system. So this has created a bit of shell shock. A bit of it's been like being sucker punched in the third chakra was the main reaction. That was the first reaction that I had too. I was quite surprised. I don't delve too much into politics, but when they asked me to talk about it, I will. So that was the first thing that they asked me to talk about with the elections was, so yeah, they dive straight into this sort of thing. If this is your first time here, welcome. And they go deep real quick. Which is interesting because that's a phrase I don't like. But however, that's what they're using. So some of you are going to resonate with that, obviously. Notice the new background with it being gray. So let me know if you guys can still see the energy moving around and if you prefer the white background. So, but yeah, this is a little bit fun having a different blue-gray background, right? So they want to talk about the elections. That many of you have the ability to breathe into your third chakra. So what they want you to do is to place your hands over that area and continue to breathe. Your hands are an extension of your heart chakra. So when you're able to place that, you naturally are a conduit for healing. And then what happens is you're giving yourself your own love, essentially. So it helps to calm down all the nerves, and it gets the energy moving because there's been a lot of blocks going on for the past about 2 weeks or so. So when we're discussing the elections, the reason why they want you guys to understand, because the first reaction that I had is I felt sucker punched, and I was in Hawaii at the time, and it was not something that I wanted to feel. So I was luckily held in a very safe container where I was able to walk away from it and just say, okay, I'm going to deal with this at another time. I almost didn't even want to look at the results because I said, this doesn't feel right. I don't have a good feeling about this at all. Because, like many people, either candidate we're not excited about. But what I didn't know was there was a different agenda on a soul level. So the first thing that I asked was, I was like, oh my God, okay, I feel sick. So what is that all about? What's happening here? And they said, well, because immediately after I was reacting, they were in my ear over here like they usually are, and I'm so grateful for that because they're able to help me calm down immediately in most situations. There's sometimes, but anyway, that's a subject for another time. But they were speaking to me, and they want me to tell you the same exact thing in order to help shift some of the perspective for some of the people listening, and I can hear some of you get to the point. So this is a roundabout way of stating. The first thing that they were mentioning was, this is a period of acceleration. This is a period on the planet where the several chakras are being cleared out from the heart down. So, in fact, we've got the throat chakra, which is communication. You got the heart chakra, which is all about love, and we happen to have the third chakra, which is all about our personal power. Then we have second, which is emotions, and first is our sexuality. So we happen to have, there's a lot that's being activated and cleared out right now. And when that happens on a human level, like for all of humanity, a lot of things happen to come through. So, and a lot of things get triggered on the planet, and people react badly, and we're like, oh my gosh, there's so much violence in the world. It's like, well, Think about it. We happen to have a collective here that is clearing out a lot of old gunk from our chakras, not only from each other, but on the planet. And so, yeah, people sometimes behave badly. You most likely have seen one of my videos that has to do with how to handle triggers. Go watch that if that's something that you're needing help with. But something else that they're talking about is specifically why we chose who we chose, because this was chosen on a human level. And what it is bringing up is they said that there were two different agents for change, and one was Hillary, which was going to be a slower rate of change, but we were going to have it. But Trump, believe it or not, and I didn't even see this and didn't want to believe it when I first heard it, is going to be an accelerated rate of change. With Hillary, not as many people are going to stand up and start talking and communicating and using their voice and voicing their power and all of that. With Trump, apparently people are going to get really angry, and he's gonna change things. And some of the things he's going to do are going to be a little bit outrageous, but what it's going to do is it's going to activate the people here that have been basically kind of passive is the word. They don't want to use the word asleep because people aren't necessarily asleep here. It's a little bit of a condescending word. My twins know this. We don't use that word. But there is going to be some activations, and people are like, oh my gosh, that's so outrageous. The other thing he's doing, he's a catalyst in the form of, and this is something I do in my work, and I cannot believe I'm saying nice things about this man, but there's always something nice to say about everybody. I don't resonate with him. I wouldn't be in the room with him, but however, the point is, he triggers you. He gets you thinking, he gets you communicating, he gets you standing up for things, and that is something people haven't been doing in this country for a very, very long time. Something that's coming up is a power dynamic on the planet, and this is, my Blu-rays know that this is something that's associated with personal power. So there's been a lot of like power plays on the planet, a lot of war and things like that. So in order to shift those things, we've got to move through those things, take a look at them, and also be willing to change the way that we behave and react to them. So like no more push-pull dynamics, no more abuse of power. These are the sort of things we're being asked to take a look at, and it is right in your face. And a lot of people are not wanting to look at it, but now we're being forced to. So the main thing is there is a positive outlook to anything. It all depends on whether or not you want to see yourself as a victim, okay? Which it's bringing up for a lot of people. If you're going to watch some of the Facebook reactions, you're going to see a lot of people who it's activating fully their victimhood. And it's like, oh my God, we're stuck in this. And it's like, and some are fully intuitive people that just aren't able to see it. So they're telling me, they're like, Theresa, we need you to get out there and please mention this to people. Like, this is the truth of what's happening. This is not a disempowerment. This is to empower people and to get people activated into channeling their power in a way that is going to activate change differently on the planet. So yeah, that's basically what they said in a nutshell. And when I heard that, I was like, that's different. Why did you wait until after? And they said, well, humanity basically was choosing Clinton the entire time, or Hillary, but it was at more or less the last minute. They're saying within 90 days of the election, humanity decided that they wanted a faster rate of change. So we on a soul level chose this. Okay. It's also a little bit surprising to Trump because I can tell you it was a little bit humbling for him, and I can tell you he was not exactly sure-footed in this, no matter how arrogant the man is acting. So, yeah, it's interesting. I may sound like a Trump supporter. I'm just here to try and offer you the positive perspective that Spirit is asking me to give you. So take it for what it's worth, and I hope that that's helpful to you because there is always a positive perspective. Now buckle your seatbelts because like the next 2 years are going to be, for some people it's going to slow down a little bit, but for those of you that are healers and transformatives and people that are here to support people as they're going through this, you are going to be needed very much in the next few years. So yeah, remember that. I'm here for you. Okay, if you need help processing any of this, book a session with me and I can help you. One of the things that I have as a gift is I can hear your limited beliefs while you're speaking. I can hear your traumas. They talk to me. So what this means is where I hear them, and they're over here. So if you see me making this face and I'm like, they're saying this, it's because they're in an orb and they're sitting right here and I can hear them. You sometimes can see them moving around me. They'll line up over here, and if they're right here, I'm listening to them. So anyway, ooh, I just saw the magenta and the pink. That was really pretty. I dig that. So they want you to know there's a lot of feminine support. There's a lot of love here and compassion for the planet that's being directed towards the planet. If any of you happen to do, and they're mentioning there's some of you that aren't reacting to this at all, so feel free to fast forward. But there is a lot of love and compassion for the planet that is available at this time. Also, Mikael is here. He's mentioning that there's a tremendous amount of protection here as well. So Mikael left the first ray. And so I'm just going through my notes here because they want to talk about, they have a lot to talk about. Oh, for some of you that have been watching for a while now, there's quite a bit. If you hear the thumps, these are my pets in the background, so they sometimes like to make a little appearance. So some of us have been joining in dream state. And they brought this to my attention recently, and sometimes I'm like, okay, no dream state gatherings. Like, I need to get my sleep because they can be really draining. And when they're waking you up at 1, 3, and 5 in the morning and reminding you of, oh yeah, we're about to take you out, and you're going to be teaching about this, that, and the other. It's really interesting, so don't have to worry about, if you've been dreaming, there's a very real, I'm definitely showing up. There's some stuff that are individual lessons going on, and there's stuff that's been going on as group lessons. There is no need to call on me for this. If it is something that my soul has decided would be helpful for you, then it comes to your I am presence and asks if there is permission, and this is not something that needs to be forced. A big issue that they're talking about is free will. And so especially for those of you who have watched my recent video about free will and how it affects timelines and manifestation and all of that, those are the ones that I've been talking to, providing some clarity if it was upsetting for you in any kind of way, because it definitely challenges some of the biggest beliefs in the community. So yeah, that's something that they definitely want to talk about. Also, I'm going to be giving a manifestation webinar, and it is different from what you have heard before. So that's going to be live, and so be on the lookout for that. It's going to be first announced through my email list, and then through my social media, and then through here. So be on the lookout in those areas. Also, benefit of my social media is that you can see a card of the day, and that gives you a little bit of a channeling and a little bit, from the beings of light, and then also basic understandings of the different rays depending on which cards are being pulled. So currently they really, really enjoy working with the Keepers of the Light deck by Kyle Gray. If you guys have that and you want to learn more and it's not in the little booklets, I'd be happy to share that with you, which is something that they're asking me to further mention. If you are interested in learning about how to read cards or harnessing your personal power, because a lot of you are misabusing it and don't even know it, or mischanneling it is the word they would prefer me to use, then I can show you how to channel that properly, okay? So, it's interesting stuff that's available on my website. Also currently, while all this is filming, there is, as at the time that this is going up, on my website, there happens to be a discount. So go to my social media, you'll see a discount if you want to work with me, okay? This is the one time a year that I offer that, and then it's going away for the next, 365 days or so. So something else that's really important that they want me to talk to you about is analyzing relationships to death. And the analogy that they gave me is this. They're like, Imagine you're in your beautiful home and it's your dream home and it's pristine, it's your sacred space. It's, maybe it's your meditation room, maybe it's your living room, maybe it's your bedroom. It's whatever your favorite room in the house is where you feel safe. You have all your favorite stuff, your favorite crystals or candles or whatever it is where you feel really, really safe. And imagine a thief walks in, but you invited them. And you don't necessarily recognize it at first that you invited them, but you see them in and they've got a ski mask and you're like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. It's so scary. And look at him and oh my goodness, it's this man or a woman or whatever it is that you see. And you're talking about them and going, my goodness, I don't know how I feel about this. This man is here in my home and oh, poor him, like he must really need money. Let me figure out what I can do to help him. And Spirit's like, this is crazy, okay? What you need to be doing and what you need to be asking yourself is, why are you analyzing why the thief is in your house? The thief has no business being in your house, but you invited him there. And by the way, you need to be taking action. Why are you not calling in support? Why are you not asking for help? Why are you not taking a look at why you invited this intruder into your home? And this home is your personal space, into your emotions, into your heart, into your head, okay? So I can help you with taking your power back with this, but this is the sort of thing, a lot of people are just trapped in this. It's like they have a thief in their favorite room in their house that is like rampaging and taking everything that they want. And for a lot of you, this is your twin. And so what they're wanting to do is, and the twin isn't trying, or your partner, or whoever this person is to you, because a lot of times when you envision the thief, it's going to be somebody that you know. Remove the ski mask. Okay, it's going to be somebody that you know, and you're going to be kind of surprised by it. You'll be like, but you can't blame them because you invited them in. Okay, so that's something they want you to take a look at is, why did I invite that person in? Oh, you shouldn't be analyzing why they're there, like in terms of, oh, they're needy, or oh my gosh, like how dare he destroy stuff? You invited him. Okay, so there are aspects to taking your power back and handling this situation, all right? And I can help you with that, but that's an analogy they wanted me to share. So no more analyzing your relationships to death. Analyze why you're analyzing, and, instead of even just possibly skipping the analyzation altogether and getting them the hell out of your house, okay? So there's another situation that they want me to talk to you about, facing fears and, sometimes our limiting beliefs. Like, we're coming up on some of the biggest limiting beliefs being challenged right now. And a big one for me recently is they've been talking to me, and this is crazy. If this doesn't resonate with you, like, completely throw it out the window. But they're like, well, we want to talk to you about this twin situation. I'm like, oh God, here we go. Like, this is controversial. And, like leaving that journey and all of that, and Hawaii helped me process a lot of that, on top of the criticism and whether or not it was the right thing to do, and whether or not, how to handle, was it me actually leaving? Was I abandoned by my twin? And all of that grief that it brought up. And by the way, if any of you are watching for my retreat, thank you so much. Well, it was actually not my retreat, but the retreat I went on. Thank you for your support, because that helped me shift tremendously, and it helped me shift a lot of grief out. And it's been really, really interesting. But that video where I was talking about like where my twin decided to leave, and I'm not going to sit around waiting on him for the next 60 years because Spirit says, okay, it's done. It's basically a reality, and it's an interesting thing. There's a Rumi card that talks about where Source asked a mother to throw their baby in the fire, and the mother's like, no way, I'm not doing it. And God goes, I will, and takes the baby and throws it in the fire. And it's just, the fire is a metaphor for a really big lesson, okay? So sometimes we are protective of ourselves, and so, I'm here. I promised you that I would tell you the truth. So something that they have mentioned, and that's Jex, by the way, something that they have mentioned is making sure that you're able to face your lessons, face your truth, always be willing to challenge your beliefs and see, okay, Because some things takes a little while to come around. Like what they're talking to me about lately is there more than one twin? They've asked me that question 8 times. And personally, my reaction is, who cares? And they're like, congratulations, you're passing the test. I'm like, great. I just know how I feel about somebody. I don't care whether or not they're my twin anymore. I don't care about all of those labels. I'm finding that this is happening with a multitude of teachers as well that are like, I just don't care about the labels. I care about how I feel. I care about how I'm treated. And those are the important aspects. And it's something that's come up in my work as to why I don't diagnose. They call it diagnosing, Spirit does, whether or not you're a twin flame. It doesn't matter. What matters is facing your limiting beliefs, facing where it is that the pain is, and then helping you shift through that in a session, okay? It doesn't matter if it's with your sister, with your parents, with your brother, or anything in life. I can help you with that, and that's what I do, but you have to be willing to take a look at those things. And so I do the best that I can to provide a safe space for that, but you can only grow as much as you're willing to, okay? Some of that is dictated by your soul, and sometimes it's dictated by you and how much gas you put, you know? But yeah, that's the basic situation, and they were like, yeah, you put the baby in the fire. That's what you did. Congratulations. This is what Ascended Masters do. This is what the Elohim do. This is what the teachers do. And it's not always pretty, and it's not always what people want to look at. But yeah, something else that's really amazing is they want to talk about how powerful you guys are. And a lot of you don't even know it. Some of you pull on people's energy and don't know it when you're just by thinking of them or emailing them, or when you're, typing out a really mean email, or when you're like, she didn't pay attention to me, or he didn't pay attention to me, or expectations, or any of that. And it wreaks havoc on other people. A lot of the blue rays have this kind of power. They want me to tell you it's very important to start working with somebody to harness that. Okay, so that you can channel it in really, really powerful ways, because some of the most prominent healers and shamans on the planet start out that way, in a little bit of a powerless kind of position. I can help you shift that in some of the new spiritual mentoring sessions that I'm doing. Check that out on my website. There for more details. We can go over pretty much anything that you want to learn. My favorite thing is teaching you how to read the cards, okay? Yes, when it comes to self-soothing, that's something that's very big right now and part of the self-care program. They want you to make a list of the things that you do to self-soothe and put it in a place where you're going to see it, so that when you feel triggered or when you feel emotional, that you can go and use those. That could be ringing a friend. That could be putting your hand over, different chakras. That could be breathing. That could be, yoga. That can be going for a walk in nature. That could be listening to... They want me to say Rage Against the Machine. So for who's listening, I think I know who you are. If there's different music that you want to listen to, whatever. Make a list of that. If you don't have things that work for you, I can work with you to show you different tools. There's a number of different things, number of different healing modalities. They're very practical and simple. They only take a few minutes. The secret is practicing. The more you practice, the better you get at it. The most important thing, though, is to breathe, okay? Just breathe. Breathe through the next couple of years. It's they're calling it like a birthing process for humanity on top of what's happening here in the United States, and a lot of things are shifting, okay? They're stating it's sort of like tectonic plates are shifting on the planet, but it's happening on an energetic level, and it can be a little bit rocky. But you have support here. There's energetic support, there's beings of the light, there are folks like me, and we are here to help. So, awesome. Thanks so much. Lots of love to you guys. Bye.